So it's time for my mandatory video where I sit here and just reiterate information that you could read on your own. I'm just kidding. That's not what I'm going to do here. If you follow this channel for any amount of time, you'll know that I hate to make videos like that where I just parrot information that you could easily find on your own by simply reading. That said, I'm not taking shots at people who do make those videos. Bojo KO and Brian Storm, good friends of the channel. Good example of people who have made videos like that and given their opinions, and those videos are worth watching for their opinion alone. That's what this video is going to be for me, though. Not parroting the information, but just giving you my opinion. I've been asked about it, not only for the franchise mode changes, of course, and to begin with, I'm a franchise mode guy. I'm known for franchise mode and roster editing, pretty much. So no surprise I was asked about franchise mode and the changes that have been made there, specifically with the scouting. I've talked about that in another video. Just to reiterate, though, I'm pumped for the changes. I have no complaints whatsoever. There might be a couple of minor things, like being able to see nationality and free agency, that I'm a little bit afraid might not be there. But if it's not, you look at the wholesale changes, I'm okay with what they've done. But that brings me to the information that came out today, even though this video probably won't be going up until the 29th, because my render speeds on this computer are the hottest of garbage. That said, when it comes to Ultimate Team, I mean, again, franchise mode and roster editing, those are known as the staples of my channel, aside from maybe the Tougie's takes and opinion pieces. Ultimate Team was a part of the channel previously. I really had fun with Bork's Battalion and NHL 17, Matthews versus Line as well. NHL 18, though, not really a secret, I despised Ultimate Team. The gameplay was not fun. The mode itself was horrifically set up. I've gone on the rant numerous times about the ungodly amount of 99 overall cards. I'm certainly not alone in that, and that stance, we'll say, of just despising Ultimate Team in 18. If anything, I kind of made a mockery of it, where it was, hey, because of my association with EA, here's some packs to open. And then when the coins with those packs, or the NHL points that we were given, I just waste the subsequent coins on silver packs. The hunt for Rumble kind of really helped, you know, take off on, or help the Twitch channel take off a little bit. So, yeah, needless to say, I had my fingers crossed Ultimate Team would be a little bit better. Wanting to get back into playing it, wanting to bring an Ultimate Team-based series back to the channel. And with what I've seen here, with what I had seen from the gameplay and the beta, that's absolutely going to be a thing. Like I said, despite being known for a franchise mode guy, I do enjoy my Ultimate Team. I do enjoy playing the game. I'm a fairly competent player, as you can ask people within the community that have played me. So I'm excited to get back into this. And as far as the changes go, again, you can look through this on your own time. I'm not going to sit here and parrot every piece of information. We knew about the legends, how they're, you know, spreading them out over the course of the year. I do like that as well. The sets, the collectibles, that's nothing new, of course. They have added the very Madden-esque progression, which is great. I mean, the way Madden's set up, Madden and MLB as well, but obviously a little bit different because it's not an EA game, but you look at the way that Madden's set up in terms of the more you put into it, the more you get out of it in the grind. To go closer towards that, and I've always said, I'm not against, you know, EA, just even EA sports-based titles, taking bits and pieces from another game and putting it into the other. I'm good with that, especially when it's something like this, where Madden does it oh so well. You get the lone player thing like you get in FIFA. I'm good with that. The big thing here, though, the whole balancing the economy sections, the main takeaway for me, the lower overalls, of course. This is the big one. I mean, of course, you'll see down here Patrick Kane's an 84 base. That's a good indication of a lower overall. The big thing for me here, though, is that bronze, silvers, and golds aren't based upon what league the teams or what league the players play in. It's based off of overall. That's another change that's going to be quite helpful, as there are goddamn fucking, I swear, gnats during the summer. Just hate it. That's okay though. That's okay. Aside from that, again, just more info on, hey, less shit to flood the market, which is fine by me taking out position locking, all that fun stuff. You can read over the rest of that. That's my main takeaway, though. The lower overalls, of course. I'm excited for Hut. That's it. That's my opinion of it. I'm excited for it. I like the changes that they made. Like I said, the gameplay seems solid. There looks to be more reasons to grind, and hopefully they don't completely screw the market within a month of the game coming out. Fingers crossed. So it's looking promising. That said, there was another article that came out today, that being the top 10 rookies list, which, you know what? I'm going to start at the bottom, although here, top 10 rookie ratings, right? This list is a tad bit controversial. Now, here's the thing. I have not put out a video talking about, and I'm sorry, something's just going on with my eye. You know that itch you get, like, right on the inside of your, eye there, and it just bugs the shit out of you? That's going on with me, but that's okay. Son of a bitch. I'm trying to fight through it. It's been acting up for, like, the past 10 minutes, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna fight through it. I haven't complained about overalls yet in a video. I've complained on Twitter, quite a lot already, actually. That is, simply put, because it's not looking great. It's not looking good. The top 50 list came out. It's not looking good. You have certain individuals releasing their overall on Twitter. Some of them aren't looking good. Now, when it comes to the case of Rasmus Dahlin being an 82, that I'm fine with. I don't have an issue with that whatsoever. Again, that kind of keeps him in line with the higher overall players you'd see going in the top 5 of a draft, specifically number 1, when you have the, computer generated draft classes. So that's fine with him being an 82. Then we get into, and look, I'll say this as well. The hockey guy released a video earlier today talking about this, so props to Shannon. Thank you for fighting the good fight. Of course, I think I'm still the one carrying the flag here. For the love of God, can we do something, please, to make this better? And then, of course, you'll have people being like, that's fucking offline. Who gives a shit? I mean, literally, shout out to this guy as well if you're watching the video, the one saying, oh, well, half the people you're complaining about you never use in franchise anyway, because he clearly watches my content and how I play franchise mode. That's a Rasmus Dahlin. That's fine. Then we get into the ridiculousness. We have Pettersson at an 82, right? Pettersson, going with Pettersson. Him being a 78, I think I said he was an 82. Him being a 78 is more than fine. 78 overall for a 19-year-old who, yes, tore up Sweden, and that's all well and good, but, still improving at the NHL level. A 78 overall, in theory, should make him a third-line scoring forward. He'll more than likely show up as a depth forward. It's just kind of how that works. It depends on the defensive ratings, which are actually half decent. He might actually show up as a third-line scoring forward. Him as a 78, that's fine as well, if it wasn't for other overalls. And we get to the third guy on the list, which, by the way, number 3 on the list is a higher overall than number 2 on the list. Andrei Svechnikov is an 80. I'm all right with Andrei Svechnikov being an 80 if you want to make Pettersson an 80 as well. Or, if you might want to flip them. Seems like it should be a bit more accurate. You have someone who tore up a men's league as a teenager against someone who did very, very well in junior. Do I really have to argue as to what the problem is here? Do I have to? I don't care if Svechnikov was the number 2 overall pick. Junior, men's league, Sweden, SHL. I don't know, man. And it gets worse. Miro Heiskanen, somehow only a 70. Did very well in Finland. Men's league in Finland, not junior. 70. Has a chance to make the Stars out of camp in real life. Not with that rating, in the game at least. He's a 70. Like, really, I mean, if we're going to be generous here, are we not just going to give him anywhere between a 74 and a 76? And some of you are saying 4 overall points, not that big of a deal. It is, though. It is. It is. Tolvanen's a 77. Again, tore up the KHL. Especially in the playoffs, at least. 3 overall points worse than Svechnikov. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And here's the problem. Sabres fans, I know some of you already think that I have something against Casey Middlestat. I do not. I do not. I know there was the debate over, oh, you had him as top 6 instead of elite. High top 6 for that matter. He's a 79. Number 1, it's fucking ridiculous. Svechnikov's better than him. Should he really be better than Pettersson or Tolvanen? 5 points in 6 NHL games. I know. Can counter that with saying that Borgstrom completely ripped apart the NCAA. Middlestat was really good. Fucking Borgstrom was amazing. Borgstrom's also on this list. You look at what Tolvanen did. You look at what Pettersson did. I don't understand. I don't understand these ratings. Christian Vesalainen, number 7 on the list, at a 69. Don't worry, because number 8's a 74. And again, Hal Mittelstadt's 5 points better than Borgstrom. I guess, 1 point in 4 games for Borgstrom, 5 points in 6 games for Mittelstadt. There's your difference. I don't know. I don't get it. Again, the order of this list, why Vesalainen's only a 69? I mean, that's not a bad rating, but he's in the top 10? I don't understand this. Zadina being a 76 is more than fine. More than fine. And then there's the Thatcher Demko debate. And this was the one tweet of mine that caught a little bit of traction. Demko's a 79. Why? I love me some Thatcher Demko. Old school fans of this channel will remember the Vancouver series. I love me some Thatcher Demko. 79. When someone like a Garrett Sparks is a 73. Who dominated the AHL. Oh, he was on a better team. Doesn't matter. You can look at what the ratings are in terms of what is defined as a backup goalie, as a starter. It doesn't make sense. This is one of the clearest examples, and people have said it for years. Vancouver bias in the ratings. This is a tremendous example. He is that close to being an NHL starter when he was a good AHL goalie, and Garrett Sparks, fucking dominated the league this year. I don't understand these. I don't. That's my only argument. I don't understand this. I don't understand how they come up with these ratings. And every time I complain about this, people are like, oh, they should hire you. Yeah, maybe they should. Or, just change how this is decided. I'm sorry that if you might not personally find this as big of a deal as I do in terms of the game, of course. In terms of the grand scheme of things, this is a big fucking deal. No, it's not. There's other stuff going on in the world that's way more important than arguing over a rating. But in talking about the context of the game, you look at what they've done with every other mode, everything's looking good. But then there's always this. There's always this where it makes no sense how they're totaling and how they're coming up with these overalls, with these attributes. And again, the problem of still, boosting up certain attributes to have someone hit a certain overall. I don't know why this is taking forever to load. There we go. Of course, a great example. I mean, it happened last year, and I'm pretty sure, actually, here, let me go over to number 1. Who knows how long this will take over. Or how long this will take. A good example, actually, Patrick Kane was looking pretty good. A good example in the previous game, of course, was someone like a Connor McDavid. Now, in fairness, it's looking better this year, with the exception, like an 86 strength, good. 91 defensive awareness for Connor McDavid. Did you really need him to have the 94? Could we not just come up with a different system that puts more emphasis on the attributes? Maybe come up with more attributes to help, kind of fix that issue, where that way you don't have to give McDavid a 91 defensive awareness to hit that overall that you want him to hit. Kind of like, an FHM 4, where they just have a 0 to 20 scale. And some players, like a Gretzky in prior years, has over a 20 in certain attributes because he was that fucking good. I'd love to see a system like that instead of this. Am I complaining about McDavid being the highest rated guy in the game? Obviously not. Crosby there, obviously not. Ovechkin there, not really. Again, the defense might be a tad bit higher. And again, you can sit here, you can go through this entire list and nitpick. You definitely can. There are some examples that are a bit more ridiculous than others. This one, for example, pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous for Carey Price to be the highest rated goaltender in the game. Again, if you want to argue a 1 or 2 overall point difference for Drew Doughty, you can certainly do that. Kucherov being there, that's fine. Again, there are plenty of examples. For the most part, I don't agree, or I don't disagree with a lot of these ratings. But again, it's the case of the one, for goaltenders, for example, what are you basing it off of? The last 3 years? The last 5 years? The last 7? I don't get why they almost seem afraid to be like, oh, well, Braden Holtby was terrible outside of the playoffs last year, so, you know what, no, he's still good, though, so 91. Like, really, is it going to be that big of a deal to drop him down 2 points and maybe boost up someone who was a little bit better? Is it that big of a deal? I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is. Claude Giroux still being a center when he's a left wing. Tuukka Rask being a 90, which again is ridiculous. If you want to base it off of the past, I did a comparison as well between him and Pekka Rinne, where, you know, if you base it off the past 5 years, yeah, Tuukka Rask is the better goalie. You base it off the past 3 years, Rinne is the better goalie. You base it off of last year and the Vezina Trophy winner against Tuukka Rask, one is clearly deserving of a higher overall. It's the same discussion that I have had over and over again on YouTube, at least for the past 3 years, and on an internet platform of some form for the past fucking decade. It's the same thing. I don't see change coming. I would love answers. I'm sorry, that's disrespectful. I would love answers as far as, you know, why certain people have the ratings they do, what's the formula with coming up with the ratings, what are the what are the stats looked at, what factors in to deciding these ratings. Because needless to say, there's quite a bit of editing that's going to need to be done on my part. And again, the problem here is I have the option to sit there and either edit the roster right from the get-go and delay certain franchise mode series at the start of 19, or I make some minor changes, use this roster, wait for their first official update to come out that'll feature players missing from the game that won't be able to be added until they play a game at the NHL or AHL level, and then I do that shitload of editing. And make no mistake, if this is any indication, just the top 50 alone, and certainly the rookie ratings, that's your Demko, I have a lot of editing ahead of myself. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Ultimate Team, the gameplay, everything else I am pumped about. Franchise mode, everything. I still say NHL 19 has the chance of being the best hockey game of this generation, one of the best hockey games of all time, from what I've seen. I was that impressed by the beta. I've been that impressed by the franchise mode stuff, by this article as well, detailing some of the stuff about HUT, and again, I'll leave the links in the description. But it just... the overalls, God knows what the potentials are. You're looking at a man who has realized that he's going to have to put potentially hundreds, at least dozens of hours into roster editing, depending on how deep of a dive I want to do. And it's a little bit disappointing. And still, of course, no sign of roster sharing, which makes the problem that much worse. Because, hey, on the bright side, if there was roster sharing, you wouldn't even have to rely on me. I'd just hype up the guys at Peter Puck if they continued to do their rosters. Or I'm sure there are some people who've done some good work over the years on Operation Sports as well. Who knows? Maybe I'd be the guy for roster. I don't know. But just... it's disappointing. It's disappointing. Some might call it nitpicking. It's a pretty big deal for what I do, for what I care about in terms of this game, for this channel. I don't know. But there you go. My opinions on pretty much all the news surrounding NHL 18 thus far. We are very close to this game's launch. Obviously, I'm excited for it. But this has been a little bit disappointing. That said, I'm sweating to death. It's hot as hell in here. I'm ready for winter. And for now, let me know in the comments below your opinions on this. Like I mentioned, check out these articles and all this stuff for yourself. I'll be linking Bojo's and Brian Storm's channels below as well, so you can check out their opinions on everything Ultimate Team related. And yeah, thanks for watching. Support the video and the channel and me and my dog who's not in the room. Yeah. Goodbye.